Hello, everybody. Welcome to the video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Anthony Spanos. I started in sales when I was 19 years old. I earned $190,000 my first year on the sales floor, got promoted to finance manager by 23 and general sales manager by 24. Now I help car salespeople and dealerships full time to increase their income and sell more cars. That's what we're all about. We are actually recording live right now from inside of our training group where we host a weekly free live webinar where you can come and learn and ask questions and see the presentation in real time. Before I get started, I want to show you a little bit about the group in case you want to join. It is 100% free, and we have an excellent, wonderful community of salespeople all across the country. We're almost up to 150 members. This is kind of like a Facebook group, except a lot better. There's no ads, and it's streamlined and built from the ground up to support community and training. So you can see we have all of our members posting in here, showing off wins and sales that they've had throughout the week. We also post weekly training whenever I record a video that goes inside the group. Our members are all across the country here in the United States. And you could see, if you come to the map, you could see where all of the other members are. If there's anyone near you, you could even meet up with them if you wanted to go that far. And we would love to see you in the group. We're always updating it with new material. And it is a great place to come and learn and network with other car salespeople who are just trying to win. So, with that out of the way, I want to jump right into today's training. One of the biggest things that I hear from my clients and from people in the group and from salespeople when I was on the floor selling myself is time management. Now, as a car salesperson, you are essentially running a business inside of a business. I like to call this being an intrapreneur as opposed to an entrepreneur. You are an employee, you do have to clock in and clock out, and you have certain responsibilities that you have to attend to each day. But for all intents and purposes, you are operating a business and you are in charge of making the business decisions that are going to increase the revenue of your business, AKA your income. So, deciding what and where to spend your time is a very important skill that needs to be developed if you want to be successful. Six-figure salespeople know what they are doing. They have direction and purpose throughout their day, and they're never caught wondering, what do I need to do next? Because they know what they need to do next in order to grow their wallet. So, solving this problem and creating a system that allows you to attack every single workday with purpose and direction and drive, knowing exactly what you're going to do when you're going to do it, is foundational to developing the rest of the skill set that is going to get you that higher income, those boosts that you want to see. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I've developed a system and framework that I believe is the most effective way to manage your time in the car industry to create as much productive hours as possible while you were at the dealership. You were there for so long anyways. Car sales hours are notoriously long, 10, 12-hour days, 5 or 6 days a week. And we want to make sure that you are maximizing that time to its fullest potential so that you can grow your bank account, you can feel good about the time you're spending, and you can sell more cars. So, what is this framework? How do we implement it in our day? I'm glad you asked. I'll show you right now. So I have an image that I'm going to share with you that I believe illustrates this uh, pretty clearly. It's something that I have utilized myself as I go about my day at the dealership and also my day here at my new business, which is teaching car salespeople. And this is what I call the thermal vision framework. So here you could see this image that I've created that outlines what I'm talking about. So let me explain this a little bit more. You'll notice that this is a car dealership showroom and it is viewed through the lens of thermal goggles. So you can imagine like a special forces operator, a soldier, or if you've ever seen Predator, Predator's got the thermal vision. So this is what we're looking at the showroom through in this image. And it illustrates a very specific way of looking at your workday, looking at your potential opportunities that I think is very useful. And I'll break it down for you right now. So you'll notice that only parts of the image are actually lit up with heat signatures. So those are going to be the red, orange, and green and yellow parts of the image. Then you notice the customer standing here in the showroom is a bright, deep red. The phone on the desk is more of an orange color, so a little bit lighter. And then the computer screen is a yellow. So you'll notice that the most heat is emanating off the customer, the second most amount of heat is emanating off the phone, and then the third most amount of heat is emanating off of the computer monitor. So what does this mean? Well, at any given point throughout your day, you have tasks in front of you that you can choose to spend your time on. Some are going to be hotter and some are going to be colder. Now, what do I mean by hot and cold in the context of time management? Well, hot activities or hot opportunities are more likely to produce dollars, to produce income. Colder activities, colder opportunities are less likely to produce income, right? So when we are picking on what we need to do next, we want to gravitate towards the hotter activities and away from the colder activities. Now, this is an ever changing list. There's not always going to be a customer in the showroom waiting to be helped, right? So, in that case, if there's no customer in the showroom, if the phone's not ringing, then those in the picture, those objects wouldn't be there. It would just be blue in the showroom on the desk. The only item lit up would be the computer monitor, and it's still going to be that yellow color, right? It's not going to all of a sudden jump to a red or an orange. It's going to stay that yellow color because it's important. There's opportunity there, but it is not screaming for immediate attention. Now, if that's the only thing in front of you, it's what you should be working on. However, if a customer walks in the front door, that is a glowing red hot opportunity. You need to be a thermal vision hunter and go after the hottest opportunity at any given point in the day. So rather than scheduling your time based off of the hours that you're at the store, and what I mean by this is that you're time blocking from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm working on my computer. From 10 a.m. to noon, I'm going to be making social media videos. From noon to 2 p.m., I'm going to be waiting for ups. None of that. Okay. Inefficient, not a good way to organize your time because this business is so dynamic. You are not in charge of when the phone rings. You are not in charge of when a customer walks in the door. You are not in charge of when customers call you or text you for information, right? Now, all of this is outside of your hands, which means that you need to develop a priority based system and not a time based system when you want to manage your tasks, manage your time in the most effective way possible. So, let me illustrate this a little better by sharing my screen and showing you a illustration. I would like to demonstrate this live by giving you a little bit of a doodle here. So, heat is just another word for dollar producing activities. All right. So, I want to make sure that we are on the same page about that. And this fits into the thermal vision analogy perfectly because the hotter an opportunity, the more money in our pockets. So we want to rank order or prioritize everything that's available to do in front of us. Our entire list of options when it comes to how we can spend our time based off of how hot and or cold the opportunity is. So always, always, always in-person business is going to be your hottest opportunity. These people are in the dealership, they are in front of your face. You can speak to them face to face, and they are most likely there to buy a car. If you look at a closing percentage for any one of these options, internet, phones, etc., in person is going to have the highest, and they're going to be buying the soonest. So, in person opportunities are, in terms of proximity, closest to dollars in your pocket, which means that they are the hottest opportunity. Those always have to take priority. Next up, we're going to be looking at phone calls. If someone is dialing into your store and they are speaking to you with your voice and you can have a conversation with them this back and forth, those are going to be hot opportunities because they are past the browsing stage and now they are actively inquiring for information in such a way that they have to confront a real human being versus over the internet texting, right? There's not this kind of immediate back and forth. They're not talking to you live, which means that they are not as hot. So, phone calls are going to be your second hottest opportunity. Your third hottest opportunity is going to be internet leads, emails, right? So, we're going to say internet opportunities for this. Your fourth hottest opportunities are going to be follow up and customer inquiries. So I'm going to say customer contact. So these are people that you've maybe already sold the car to or are asking you questions about something on your lot, etc. So these are customer questions. Depending on the question, this might actually be higher up in the list. So this is kind of case dependent. You got to use your judgment as to, again, how hot is the opportunity that I'm pursuing in this case. Then, if we go further down the list, now you've got prospecting opportunities. So this would be calling through the service drive, calling previous customers, basically trying to create new business through hunting or prospecting. And then at the bottom of the list here, we've got marketing opportunities. And you could continue going down the list and, filling in whatever it is that you think you might need to spend your time on. But I found that past this point, in 9 out of 10 cases, the return on investment for your time is so low with any other options that they're not even worth considering, right? So on this extreme down here, we've got cold, which means less money. So we want to make sure that through our entire time at the dealership, the 12 hours that we're spending at the store, we are doing something on the list, right? So let's say that you are starting your day and you have nothing on your plate. Okay. So there is pretty much uh, zero options in front of you for what you need to do, and you have a completely blank slate, and you have to pick what you need to do next. All right. And this happens for most people. Unless you're at like an extremely, extremely busy store or a super killer, then you're going to run into this situation where you have choices in front of you and you don't know what to do. You don't know what to spend your time on. So, this is the problem that we are looking to solve here. If we revert back to the list and we look at what our choices are, you don't have somebody in front of you, which is the hottest option. You don't have the phones ringing. You don't have any internet leads to do, which means that you should be spending your time prospecting. I count follow up as prospecting, right? So that's what you're going to be spending your time on. You're going to be clearing your CRM. You're going to be doing your follow up. Now, as you're going through your follow up, if the phone rings, right? Imagine you got your thermal goggles on. You're looking at your computer. Your computer's yellow. You're taking care of your follow up. If the phone rings, you got a bright flash of orange over here. You stop what you're doing. You divert your attention over to the item that is glowing, that is hot. You're going to pick up that phone. You're going to start working with the customer. You're going to answer their questions. You're going to forget about your follow up. You're just going to leave it. Like drop it right where you are. It is less important. It should come after you speak to this phone that is ringing. And maybe this seems obvious. I see it all the time. I have multiple clients that say, my follow up just takes so long. I'm doing it and missing ups. It's like, well, that's not really acceptable. Okay. You can't be letting go of these opportunities that are falling in your lap. You have to pay attention to them and then go back to the less important, less productive opportunities, which would be your follow up, which would be prospecting, marketing, right? If you're making social media videos out on the lot and you see someone driving through, you should just stop recording, drop your phone, go talk to them because that is the more important activity. And believe it or not, it happens all the time. People are prioritizing the wrong things and missing, deals that are just right in front of their face, which is a problem. So we want to make sure we avoid that. Now, if you are on the phone and you see someone walk in, I would try to wrap that up as quick as possible. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, thank you so much for calling in. I'm going to get you that information. Let me give you a call back here in just a few minutes. Boom, go talk to them. Now, again, use your judgment. If they are actively scheduling an appointment with you, finish up the phone call. You know what I mean? But if someone's walking through the door, they're most likely a buyer. Statistically speaking, you're always, of course, going to have exceptions to what I'm talking about here. The point is that we want to take a swing at it because the likelihood that it is going to bring us dollars quickly is higher. And obviously, it's not always going to happen. You're going to have someone walk in who's just wandering around and says, "Hey, I'm just looking for service." Okay, but what if they were there to buy a car? It's always worth it, is my point. That's what we want to get across here. Now, as you go about this practice, you have to make sure that you have enough discipline to go back to the previous activity once you're done with the hotter one. So if you're doing your follow up and the phone rings and you take the phone call and you have that conversation and it ends, it comes to kind of a natural conclusion, you need to go back to your follow up as quickly as possible. This ability to switch tasks quickly, efficiently, is going to be a super important skill set for you because that's the only way that you're going to be able to do what I'm talking about and get everything done on your plate at the same time. So you have your list one, two, three, four, five, six. You start from the top and you go down until you hit something that you can do. So if there's no phones, no leads, no walk ins, you're going to go down the list and you'll naturally land at prospecting or follow up. Once you're done with your follow up, you should be doing cold calling, etc. Once you're done with that, or you've at least hit your goal, your quota for the day, then you can move on to marketing, whether that's creating social media content, advertising, etc. And then that's something I would just set and forget, do it one time. Then you go back to prospecting, right? So you at will never run out of things to do if you follow this process, and you will make sure that you're capitalizing on the most important things while you do it. So you need to switch your head out of a time-based workflow for your day and into a task based, priority based workflow instead, because that's going to be significantly more productive. It's going to ensure that you're never guessing at what to do next. And you are pulling as many dollar bills out of the hours that you're spending at the dealership as possible. So that is the goal. That's what I wanted to get across to you guys today. I hope that was helpful. If you want to join our free sessions, please join the group school.com/six-figure-car-sales/about. The link is in the description. It is on our bio page. It is everywhere. You can find it on all of our platforms. We host this training weekly live, and afterwards we do a question and answer session. So if you have some specifics, you want a little bit more of that one-on-one real help, then please join the group, join the call, and I would be happy to do that. And that way you can interact with us live instead of having to watch the recorded version. And to bring it full circle, live in-person calls are hotter, warmer activities than watching recorded content, which is colder. So you should definitely prioritize the one that is likely to bring you dollars, which is hopping on the call, talking to a trainer live, and getting some real personalized value out of it. So with that, I would like to wish you guys a good day and get some extra sales out today. If you are in the group, make sure to post them and show off and get some support, get some feedback, and that dopamine hit of uh, showing off to the world your success, which we all love. And I will catch you guys in the next one.